Oh, hello there. Welcome to the electronics lab located in Workman 116. Today I will be teaching you how to power an LED using an Arduino microprocessor.
We will now cover the electronics we will use in this project. First, we have a resistor and an LED. A resistor is a simple electronic device that restricts current. This will be used to protect our LED. It is polarized, so make sure you connect it properly. The long end is the positive end, and the short end is the negative end. For this project, we will be using an Aligo Uno R3. This is a stand-in for an Arduino Uno microcontroller. We will use this to implement software that will light up our LED. The final pieces of this project will be a breadboard and jumper cables. Jumper cables act as simple point-to-point wires for connecting electronic components. The breadboard also acts as a connection device. However, instead of having point-to-point, each horizontal row is connected together.
Let's review. You need 5 main components for this project: a resistor, an LED, an Arduino Uno, a breadboard, and jumper cables.
Now we will assemble our circuit. Here is a simplified overview of the circuit we will be building. As you can see, the electricity flows out of pin 10 through the resistor into the LED and then back around to the ground. First, we take our Arduino microcontroller. Note that we will be using pin 10 on the microcontroller as well as the ground. Next, connect the LED to your breadboard. Note the long leg will be the positive end. Now, connect the resistor to the breadboard as shown. Now, grab 2 of your jumper cables, preferably a red one and a black one. Red for positive, black for negative. Connect the black wire to ground and the red wire to your pin 10 on the microcontroller. Lastly, connect your USB cable to your microcontroller, and you're all set.
Now that we have a basic understanding of how our circuit will work, let's get started. We're going to start by addressing the coding portion of this project. If you don't already have access to Arduino software, go to www.arduino.cc/en/software, like you could see here, and download the software for your respective operating system. Mine's Windows. Now that the software has finished downloading, click on the completed download to finish the installation process. Select I agree, then press Next, and install. Now that Arduino is finished installing, let's open the program. Now that we have Arduino open, let's delete this first code that it gives us to start with. Now, plug in your Arduino Uno into your computer. To set up our environment, first we're going to go to the Tools tab, Board, and make sure Arduino Uno is selected. Go to that same Tools tab, select Port, and select whichever port is available. Now that our coding environment is set up, let's link in our code. The code we will be using is provided in the description and is also shown here. If you are not using the description code, pause the video here and copy these lines of code exactly into the coding box. Warning: if any line, semicolon, or curly bracket is forgotten, the code will not work properly, so be sure to copy the code exactly as seen on your screen. Let's go over what our code actually does. Here, in this first line of code, we are defining the pin on our Arduino board. In our case, we chose 10, but you can choose whichever digital pin you'd like, just as long as your red wire is connected to the correct pin. In the void setup section, we initialize the pin to be an output so that it can provide our circuit with the information it needs to work. Finally, we have our void loop section. Because of the loop command, this section will run indefinitely. In this line of code, we set the pin to high, which is also known as 1 or on. This is what turns on our light. In this line of code, it sets our pin to low, which is also known as 0 or off. This is what turns off our light. The delay seen between these commands are necessary so that we can see the change from off to on. Otherwise, it would go too fast for us to see. Once you have your code copied correctly, let's verify the code to make sure it works. To do so, click the Verify button in the upper left corner. It looks like a check mark. If your code is okay, the bottom left bar will read, "Done compiling." If it doesn't, there may be something wrong with your code. Go back and make sure the code is copied correctly. Once your code is verified, we can now upload this code onto the board, so that once we build our circuit, it can receive the information to blink. We do this by clicking the Upload button, also in the upper left corner, right next to our Verify button. It looks like an arrow pointing to the right. Click this. Once it finishes uploading, you will see Done Uploading in the bottom left bar.
Congratulations, your LED should now be flashing on and off.
Now you know how to power an LED. Give yourself a pat on the back. Nice! Since the beginning of this video, you have learned how to use an LED, resistor, and microprocessor in a circuit. But don't forget to stay safe and have fun. Thank you for watching.